All right. All right. We are back. So I don't know what happened there exactly, but let's get back to what we were talking about. So yeah, uh, the C8 Corvette Z06 is very likely to be lighter weight in some way, shape, or form. Now, the base model C8 Corvette weighs around 35 to 3,600 pounds, and that's a fair amount for a car like this. And honestly, if this car weighed more like 3,200 pounds, it would probably be pretty fantastic. Or even 3,000 would be really, really up there. But anyway, so the C8 Corvette Z06 is going to cut some weight, just like the C6 Z06 and even the C5 Z06 did. Now, if you guys remember that, the C5 Z06 and the C6 Z06 actually cut some material away from the windshield and the automotive glass to save weight. That's how badly they wanted to cut down the weight on these cars. This one, and really even the ZR1, they're getting up there to the point where weight is affecting the performance. It doesn't matter how much horsepower you throw at a car that's too heavy. It's not the same. Now, again, a lot of you guys are going to ask, well, why is the C8 Corvette Z06 only 620 horsepower? Number one, that hasn't been confirmed yet, but if it is only 620 horsepower, the reason they can get away with that amount of horsepower is because the car should be lighter. Now, I'm not sure exactly how much lighter it's going to be, but like I said, I do have it on good authority that there's going to be a lot of use of magnesium in the car versus aluminum, which is lighter weight. So, what are your guys' thoughts? What do you think of the C8 Corvette Z06? After seeing that teaser trailer, obviously we didn't see the car, but based on the noise that it's making, what do you guys think? Let me know. Shoot some comments in here. Let's have a discussion about what are your thoughts on this car using a flat plane crank mated with a dual clutch transmission. I agree, Tony. I think it sounds pretty freaking good. I am obviously a very big fan of the V8 sound. So this car's got a V8. That car's got a V8. The C5's got a V8. I love the way they sound, but honestly, if we throw a flat plane crank in there and it's done right, I think it could be pretty amazing. Jose, I'm actually on the same thought process. I'm thinking this car may not necessarily be around for a whole lot longer because I want to get the Z06. So how many of you out there have a C8 right now that want to trade it or are thinking of selling it to get the Z06? I'm curious what your thoughts are. Blue Vet, I agree. I really think it's going to be something else. Now, if you guys look back in the videos that I've produced here, way back, so before this C8, before this base model here was even confirmed, you will hear me talking about the fact that the C8 I really wanted was the Z06. And that was before any of this was even confirmed. We didn't even know that this car looked this way yet, because the Z06 is always the best bang for the buck. So even in the C7 realm of goodness, the C7 Z06 is still your best bang for your buck, because you can pick those up before the market exploded the way it is. You could pick up a Z06 for somewhere around high 50s to low 60s. And you only had 100 less horsepower than this car does here. This car has never been under 120 grand. So again, the Z06, even for the C7 generation, was always the best bang for the buck. It's going to be the same way for the C8. So the C8 Corvette ZR1, the C8 Corvette Zora, yeah, they're going to be freaking awesome cars, but they're going to be so much more expensive than the Z06, it's not going to make it worth it. North Coast, that's awesome, man. Did you tell them that I sent you over there, or how did you get in touch with Click Lewis? I agree. The car looks exotic, and now with the flat plane crank, it's going to sound exotic. That's amazing, dude. Thank you so much, North Coast. Nova Scotia. All right, Jay. That's awesome. Jose, I agree. I knew I was getting the Z06, but at the same time, I wanted to get this thing looking the way I felt like the C8 should have looked from the very beginning. And honestly, it didn't really cost much to get it to this point. So I feel a lot better driving this car whenever it looks the part. And honestly, the biggest thing that I did to this car to make the biggest difference is probably a tie between the 5VM ground effects and the black diamond wheels. Other than those two things, you know, the stock car looks absolutely fine, but I think every C8 needs new wheels, in my opinion, at least. But anyway, guys, if you're liking what you're seeing, please give this feed a big thumbs up. I know the last one was doing really well. You guys were all hitting thumbs ups. I love that. Please continue to do that so we can continue to grow as a community here. Yeah, definitely. You know, I haven't seen a lot of the Zeus Bronze up close. What color wheels does yours have? Did you choose black, or what'd you get? Forge line. Are they gold by chance? Gray, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out at Corvettes at Carlisle. I have seen one red mist in person, and I think the color is interesting because it's a cross between this and the Long Beach red. So it's a little bit more on my end of the red spectrum, but I think it's pretty cool. All right, so Blue Vet 22, he's asking me what color am I going to go with my Corvette Z06. This has been a big question. I've gotten this a lot on my channel, and it is very, very likely to be black. Originally, I ordered the C8 Corvette here in red because I didn't want it to necessarily just be the same kind of car as the ZR1. But after having it for a while, I really, really like the red, especially with the satin finish on it. But as I drive it more and more, I wish it was black. So anyway, guys, let's go over some other details of this C8 Z06, what we're likely to get with this car. Now, we've talked a little bit about the weight savings. We talked a little bit about the Z06 and Z07 package, but I think that where the biggest differences for the Z06 come in are going to be with the Z07 package. So let's kind of rehash what we talked about with the Z07, and that was one of the things you're likely to get right off the bat is carbon ceramic rotors. So that's a big one, and I actually have, again, proof, for lack of a better word. I know that at least one of the models of the Z06 is getting carbon ceramic rotors. I've seen it. So with that said, I can guarantee you that the Z06 will have carbon ceramic rotors in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's the Z06, the Z07 package, or if it's just an option, it's going to have it. Now, other than that, we also have that transmission that's going to be made out of magnesium, which was going to help with lighter weight and possibly stronger to handle more horsepower, because obviously it's going to have more horsepower than the base model here. Now, there has been some talk of the Z06 also getting between a 9 or a 10-speed dual clutch transmission. I don't know if that's going to happen. That there has been no confirmation on my end of that, but if we do get something like that, I would speculate it would be more like a 9-speed, because I really don't see why we would need a 10-speed dual clutch transmission. These things shift so fast as it is. I really don't think a 10-speed would be necessary, but there is a car out there, the Acura NSX, that uses a 9-speed dual clutch transmission, so I think that that is a possibility. Now, like I said, the transmission casing is made out of magnesium, so we are talking about possibly different internals, but definitely lighter weight. That's what the whole thing is about. The Z06 is going to shed weight in order for that flat plane crank that's naturally aspirated to be able to move this thing in a fast enough fashion. So lighter weight with even less horsepower than the C7 Z06 had, it's not going to matter, because between the lightweight, the aero, and obviously engine placement, the car's still going to be faster than the C7 Z06. Thank you. I think that the satin wrap really did turn this car into something else as well, especially from the front. At an overcast or towards the night, this angle right here is just, it's amazing. And it's because of that satin finish that those cuts look the way they do on the hood. 0 to 60 guess for the Z07 package Z06. I'm thinking 2.4, 2.5 seconds. Now, the reason I say that, Tony, I'm right there with you, man. 2.5 or less. The reason I say that, though, is because, number one, the Z06 and Z07 package car are going to have wider tires, wider stancing, more aero, and if I had to guess, even better traction capabilities. Now, we also get a different spoiler with the Z06, possibly an even bigger one, more like that, on the Z07 package. And of course, that's going to help with downforce on the track. That's what the Z06 is all about. It's supposed to be a track beast. So all of these things are going to be specifically formulated, and they're going to come alive on the track. Now, guys, as we're talking about this, you were doing a real good job on my first attempt at the live video. Please smash that thumbs up button. Let YouTube know you are liking this content so we can keep doing this kind of stuff. I love having these kind of chats with you guys. I love going through all the options, especially when it comes to speculating on a new car that's coming out that I'm super pumped about. I could do this all day. But hit that thumbs up button. That way everybody can join in and we can have huge discussions about this car. Like I said a couple times in my Z06 video, guys, I am super freaking pumped for this car. This is literally the one I've wanted since before this one was even a thing. And yeah, it's going to be freaking awesome. I know it. I'm so certain that it's going to be awesome that this one is up for sale. I am going to be selling this car here very soon. And one of you guys could buy it. If you're interested in the car, shoot me an email. We can kind of discuss it and see what's going on with everything. But I love this car so much, and I don't want to sell it. But I know that Z06 is going to be that good that I'm ready to get rid of this. It is definitely naturally aspirated, guys. The Z06, there's no chance that thing's getting a turbo unless they're putting a different engine in the Z07 package. That would be the only possibility. Yes, so that's another thing. I actually have heard some confirmation of this from people who supposedly are in the know. The Z06 is definitely going to ride much stiffer than the base C8. So if you guys have driven a C8 Corvette, you know it's a really good jack of all trades. You can have it in touring mode and it's real plush, or you can put it in track mode and it's pretty good on the track as well. The Z06 is going to be much more formulated for the track, so it's not going to have as plush of a ride as this one does. Now, the same was true even with the C7. You got the Stingray versus the Z06. There was a big difference in the way the suspension handled itself. Eric, I am probably going with a black Z06. I don't think that the stiffer suspension will necessarily mean that the car will sit any lower, but these are adjustable. I would imagine that the Z06 will have the same kind of adjustment, so it's kind of a coilover setup. The only thing is that if you guys get the Corvette with the adjustable ride height here, the front end lift, you can't just turn down the coils to lower it. Yeah, the Z06 is definitely going to ride rougher, even if you get the mag ride version. And I'm okay with that. Eric, the Z06 will very likely have a removable roof because the chassis of the C8 was built up so stiff. It's actually, I can notice by driving it, it is stiffer than the C7. It doesn't need that top anymore. Ralph, I will actually, because she drives this a fair amount. She actually just drove this yesterday, so it's not something that abnormal for her to be behind the wheel of these things. Now, the C7, the only reason she doesn't drive that is because she's not really perfect at driving a manual yet, and I don't want that thing getting messed up. But she has been in both this and the C5, so she knows how to drive these. All right, so that's another big question. How much is the C8 Z06 going to cost? Now, I don't know about that, but the C8 Z06, how much is it going to cost? Now, again, what we can do to figure this out is follow the trend of what GM did with the C7. So with the C7 Stingray, I can't remember right off the top of my head what they started at, but I know the difference between the two was similar enough that we're looking at about $60,000 for the base, and the Z06 is likely to start at 85 to 89. So let's call it 90. At 90K, it will start without options. So if you get the Z07 package, you're looking at probably 100 right there. If you get a 3LZ Z07 package, you're looking at probably 110. By the time it's all said and done, checking all those boxes, getting all the carbon fiber, all the Z07, all the performance packages, you're probably somewhere around 130. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but if you think about what that car is going to do with $130,000, you're literally talking about Aventador levels of performance for a fraction of the price. And that is absolutely fantastic. This car already looks like an exotic. With that kind of performance, it's going to be taking down exotics at a fraction of the price. So I can't see any way it gets any better than that. But yeah, centered exhaust pipes or R-pop. I have seen a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that this thing is going to have center exhaust tips. Now, another thing that I recently saw that someone said is confirmed is that the center exhaust tips were purposely chosen by GM because it helps with the note of the flat plane crank. Makes sense to me. So I'm thinking we're going to see center exhaust tips return for the C8. What's up, Garrett? How you doing, man? Blue Vet, I totally agree. I know when the C8 Z06 comes out, it is going to blow our freaking minds. Any guesses on production starting? Yeah, so I think what's going to end up happening here is we're going to see the reveal this fall. They're going to talk about the fact that you can start. They're going to give us probably a rough estimate of when you can start putting in orders. I think we're going to start seeing the C8 Corvette Z06 on the streets around this time next year. Adrian, the C8 Corvette Z06 is likely to have between 600 and 620 horsepower based on the leaks that I've seen. These are black diamond wheels. So I have a couple videos out about it if you want to go to my channel and check them out. I give all the specs of what sizes, what offset, all that good stuff. One of the best looking wheels on this car in general, but I actually have black diamond wheels on the C5 back here as well. I would definitely check them out. Now, if you guys are interested in something like this, obviously the C8 or the C8 Corvette Z06, what you should do, in my experience, is head over to the same dealership I use. This was from Click Lewis Chevrolet in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. Go over there, talk to a guy named Mike Matarazzo. Make sure you get on the list for C8 or whenever the allocations come out, the C8 Z06, whichever one you want. Talk to Mike Matarazzo, tell him I sent you. He'll hook you up. Michael Matarazzo, no, donations do not count towards the entries, unfortunately. Ralph Cruz wants to know if they will be offering carbon fiber wheels. They will. So the C8 Corvette Z06 is going to have at least two different wheel options for the base Z06 and then the Z07 package. You're talking about one option being magnesium and the other option being carbon fiber. Now, if you guys look at the thumbnail of this particular live chat, live video, those wheels, I believe, are off of a GT500. It's just a rendering, but they are definitely carbon fiber wheels, and I have seen some carbon fiber wheel offerings for the Z06 that have been sold off and stuff from GM, so I would put money on the fact we get carbon fiber wheels. R-pop, I don't think so. I don't think the interior is going to get much of a change. The only thing I would say is the interior might possibly get some carbon fiber add-ons. So, like maybe some carbon fiber pieces on the dash itself. I'm sorry, I didn't see that comment. What condition is what on my C5? The C5 in general is in really, really, really good condition. I mean, you can you can see even it's a little bit dirty, but even still, the paint just shines. This thing is in fantastic shape. Whoever ends up winning this car, and this is another part that I wanted to talk about in this video, was the fact that this is a giveaway. If you guys want to be entered to win this C5, all you have to do is head over to my website and buy some merch. Every $10 is one entry. Jason's Garage. Yes, I do. I am definitely getting a C8 Corvette Z06. I am preparing myself to do that now, and this is up for sale. So if anybody out there is interested in this car, send me an email. Let me know what you think. and maybe we can work something out. Maybe one of my subscribers could potentially have a car that I used to own, other than the C5. No, I hope not. I hope that the Z06 does not have cylinder deactivation. But at the same time, I think it's going to. I hope it doesn't, because I really just don't like what that does to the car. The ZR1 is the first C7 to not have cylinder deactivation, and it is by far the best one to drive because of that. Oh, Daniel, the key fobs for the C5 are awesome. I actually just bought two of them from Amazon. They were like 20 bucks. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email. I'll send you a link to it. Guys, one last time, if you're liking the talk of the Z8, the C8 Z06, please, big thumbs up. Let me know you're liking this so we can continue to do this stuff. YouTube will push all of this harder if there's a bunch of thumbs up on this. So please hit that thumbs up. R-Pop, that's a good question. I have talked about this since the very beginning. He wants to know, is there going to be any kind of new colors offered for the C8 Corvette Z06? And I think so. I honestly think GM is going to give us an acid green style color. That car needs it. So basically, you would have basically a Lamborghini Aventador with that color green on it. It would be amazing. Yeah, Tesla plaid mode. It's funny you comment on this, because just yesterday I got to take a ride in a Tesla plaid, Model S plaid, and it was, I'll just say frightening. It was unbelievable how fast that car is. With that said, the C8 Z06, there's no way it's going to hit 0 to 60 as fast as that plaid does. It's literally just not possible. The ZR1, probably not either, but the Zora would be the one that I would think could possibly do it, because it's the one that's supposed to have the most horsepower, the most use of hybrid motors, all that stuff. I think that has a real possibility of hitting something in the high, or the high 1 second, possibly low 2 second range to 60s. Yeah, so absolutely not. You don't have to worry about hijacking the the video here, because the C8 Corvette in general, all of the models are going to be absolutely fantastic. Like even the base one here. I have such a hard time with my decision to try to sell this car because it's so freaking awesome. It is one of the most amazing cars I've ever driven, and it's the base. So the E-Ray, the ZR1, the Z06, eventually the Zora, they're all going to be awesome in their own right. I stand by the fact, though, that the C8 Z06 is going to be the best bang for the buck. It's going to be, I'll put it in quotes, the cheapest high-performance variant. And that's because it always has been. Any car, any Corvette generation that they offer the Z06 in, it's always cheaper than the ZR1, and the difference in performance is never that much. The ZR1, you're paying a lot of money for the ZR1 because of its exclusivity, it's the fact that it's a low production, the fact that it's going to be worth money. The Z06 is probably not going to ever be worth money unless you're talking like 40 years since it was made last. But at the same time, it's the best bang for your buck. So if you want to go out and get a performance car right now, it's going to decimate everything on the street, the Z06. And it's not going to cost you $1 million either. It's probably going to max out around 130. I don't know if the Z06 is going to be the only track variant. I've only heard that from one place, and I'm not real sure that they necessarily know exactly what they're talking about. I cannot imagine for a second that the ZR1 C8 won't be built for the track. I mean, it doesn't get much more track-oriented than the C7 ZR1. So, Carter, I am definitely getting the C8 Z06. I am trying to prepare myself for it now by offering this up for sale. Once again, if any of you watching are interested in this car with all of the mods included, shoot me an email. We'll see if we can get a deal hashed out. But anyway, guys, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the Z06? I'm curious to hear how many of you are going to be trading your C8s to get a Z06. That is a good question. Aaron Vector asked me how I think they're going to deal with the vibrations caused by that flat plane crank. I don't know if teaming up with Ford is necessarily the best idea, because Ford kind of had a problem with their flat plane crank with the GT350. I don't know what they're going to do, but I do know that they've been testing it pretty thoroughly in the C8R. So hopefully they've made some advancements there. So shiny fenders. Basically, if you take a look at this car, this is pretty much what you're going to get with the Z06. There's going to be obviously a wide body back there, but for the most part, it is going to look a lot like this car. Take this and kind of smash it together with the C8R, and you pretty much have what the Z06 is going to look like. They're not going to be radically different looking. It is going to have a wider rear, wider tires, a little bit more aero, bigger spoiler, but visibly the car's not going to look much different. And that's not a bad thing. This car, this is a really, really beautiful car. I mean, especially from the front. Absolutely jazzy. I don't own a car that I don't do any mods to. Every one of my cars have been made mine by adding mods to it. So even this one, whenever I first got it, was obviously normally just your torch red. I put XPEL on it to give it that satin finish. I put the 5VM lip and side skirts, the high wing spoiler, black diamond wheels, window tint, tinted tail light covers. And honestly, if I was keeping the car any longer, there was a couple other things I would probably do as well. But yeah, I almost never just buy a car and drive it. I want to make it mine in any way possible. Yeah. So Sargent, that was one of the reasons I use that picture so often, is because I believe that that particular rendering is exactly what that Z06 is going to look like. It's basically the C8R without the graphics on it and everything, with a bigger wing. That's pretty much what we're getting. The Z06 may do that. It might do that. I'm still kind of waiting to see the official launch of it and what we actually really get. But the Z06 has the best chance of dethroning the ZR1 out of the garage. We'll see, though. It's going to take a lot to get rid of this one. We'll see what happens. The price on the Zora, I have heard rumors, and based on, again, kind of the launch scenario of the ZR or the C7 lineup, I'm thinking the Zora is going to start at pretty close to $200,000 before options. Eric, yes, I do. And that's funny you mentioned that, because I was just thinking about that earlier. I watched that video again, and that burble at the end, you can clearly tell that is not this car. That's not the base C8. That is definitely from a flat plane crank, because that burble is much higher pitched than what it is on this one. So, I mean, obviously they're testing that car still, so maybe they don't have the full exhaust setup on it yet, but I have a feeling we'll get some pretty amazing sounds out of that thing. The Callaway tuning the C8. I have actually heard that that's not the case. I heard that Callaway was not going to be able to tune it necessarily. I don't know. I'm not going to comment too much on that yet, because I have not read all of that article. It's very possible. The C8R is already going to look a lot like the Z06, and since we did have a C7R version of the Z06, there's a good chance that the C8 Z06 would have a C8R version. My neighbor's back at it. Pyro, that's one thing I was hoping, that we would lose that rear storage and the car would be shortened up. But I don't think we're going to lose it completely. I think they're going to reshape it. And that may limit putting the target top in there. Yeah, guys. I'll show the C5. The C5 is looking good. Like I said, as always, it is so glossy. Like, walking up to it, I can see the reflections. It's like a friggin' mirror. Look at the wheels. The black diamond wheels just set this thing off. It is a little bit dirty, so I don't want to get too close to it. But yeah, she's a gorgeous car. I've been driving this a lot the last couple days, because I've been trying to get some pictures and stuff for the giveaway. But like I said, guys, if you're interested in winning this, All you have to do is follow that link in the description down below, buy some merchandise. Every $10 spent is an entry to win this car. Literally could be in your driveway just by buying a t-shirt. Prone, no, there is not. So the only thing you can really do in the C8, and this is even iffy, you cannot do a burnout. It will let you do about 4 seconds of a burnout. That's it. So you'll spin the tires a couple times, nothing huge. You can do a donut, but if you do that, it actually triggers a check engine light, which will, granted, will go away on its own after a couple hours, but R-Pop, I will be with AWE, and I will also be over by the food court again where I've been in the last couple years. I'll be kind of bouncing back and forth between those two locations. AWE wants my cars because they have the AWE exhaust. This one will be sitting at the AWE booth. This one will be too, assuming it's not sold by then. I don't know if they'll release that Nürburgring time. I mean, they did with the base C8, so I'm thinking they probably should. And honestly, with the advancements that they're making with that car over the base C8 here, I cannot imagine that thing's going to be less than, let's say, 7 minutes, 8 seconds. That's what I'm thinking. Because it's got to be faster than that. Let's say 7 minutes, 5 seconds. Because the Z06 was never given an official time, but there has been a user that went over there and actually drove the Z06 around that track and got, I believe it was 7 minutes and 12 seconds. So the C8 Z06 will be a little bit faster, but not as fast as that one. R-Pop, I don't know. Because I am pretty sure this car, the Z06, is going to be sitting right here in my driveway by this time next year. I mean, I should say I hope. We'll see. Which car is more fun to drive, the ZR1 or the C8? That is a good question. Believe it or not, it is a much harder decision than you would think. But at the end of the day, this is my favorite one to drive. And I think it's only because it's a manual. With that said, though, this thing is an unbelievable close second. Yeah, King of the Road C6. If you don't want to pay over MSRP for a C8, whether it's the Z06 or just the base C8, go to Click Lewis Chevrolet in Palmyra, Pennsylvania, ask for Michael Matarazzo, and tell him Horsepower Obsessed sent you. He will definitely take care of you. He got me this car without any kind of markups, and he does it for everybody. It's not just because I'm a YouTuber or anything. He'll do it for anybody that wants a C8. So anyway, guys, what are you thinking about the Z06? The C8 ZR1, I believe, is going to be twin turbocharged. Moderately spec'd Z06. If you get a 2LZ base Z06, you're probably looking at 95 to 98,000. If you go all out, all options checked, I'm thinking it's going to be around 130. Tim, I am actually looking to sell my C8 before the Z06 comes. So I don't think I'm going to trade it unless I can't sell this. If I'm not able to sell it, then yes, it's getting traded for the Z06. There is literally no reason in my head that I would want to keep the base and the Z06 because I would end up never driving the base. I would just drive the Z06. Eric, my dealership is taking care of me, the same one that got me this car. It is Click Lewis Chevrolet in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. I will be one of the first ones to get the car out of that dealership. I would recommend you talking to them. Go up there and ask for Michael Matarazzo, tell him Horsepower Obsessed sent you, and he will hook you up. He can get you on the list for the base C8, the 2022s, or even the 2023 Z06 once he gets allocations for them. The Z06 is not going to be supercharged, pro-charged, or turbocharged. It's going to be naturally aspirated. LT4. I want to see your CTSV. One of these days you got to stop by, since I know you saw where the lab's at. Stop by one of these days. I want to check that car out. Yes. Doesn't matter what state you're in. While I was up there at one point, a subscriber named Andy came in and picked up his C8 Corvette Z06 from Click Lewis, and he was from California. So it doesn't matter what state you're in. Yes, Andrew, as weird as that question sounds, and as weird as it is to say that, I am hoping that the Z06 feels more raw and less comfortable than the base, because that's what this is. And there's something about getting into a performance car that feels so comfortable, it's almost numb. The experience is almost numb, and this is almost that way. This is a great touring car. It's a great road trip car, but it doesn't feel as powerful or as precise as a car that you can feel a lot more of what's happening, like the ZR1 there. Visceral is the exact term I would use, yep. I think the C8 Z06 is going to be more visceral. I've already heard that it's going to have a suspension that's much stiffer than this one. Yeah, we'll see, Jim. I've talked about it a couple times about this car being for sale, and some people jump on it, but they don't want to give me what I want for it. Best guess on an E-Ray release date. If we actually have the Z06 in people's driveways by summer 2022, possibly fall 2022, I'm thinking the E-Ray would be very shortly after that. So probably within 6 months after the Z06 is out. I bet it's faster than a year. Only because I'm pretty sure they're currently testing the E-Ray as well. They're not testing just the Z06. So if they already have the E-Ray in test form, I bet it comes pretty shortly after the Z06. Yeah, so the GT350, especially the R, you're talking, it doesn't get a whole lot more raw than that car, so I definitely agree. Ryan, you probably will be able to. You can option out the base C8 with pretty close to $10,000, $15,000 worth of carbon fiber, and a lot of this stuff wasn't offered in carbon fiber for the base. I believe we're going to have a lot more carbon fiber offerings for the Z06. So obviously we'll have the 5VM, which is carbon fiber. We'll have the door boomerang carbon fiber, the wing carbon fiber, the mirror caps carbon fiber, and I bet a lot of the interior will be carbon fiber. Jazzy, I would love to be there. I know with the C8 Corvette launch itself, there was a couple YouTubers that went and some that didn't. And honestly, the ones that didn't go had a better experience than the ones that did, because it was just so crowded and everything. So we'll see. If Chevy wants to reach out to me and say, hey, come out and see the Z06, I am definitely not going to tell them no. So we'll see what happens. What do you mean flipper car? Like people buying them and then selling them right away for a profit? Guys, if you were enjoying the C8 Corvette Z06 banter as much as I am, please smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking it so we can continue to do this kind of stuff. I love having these kind of chats with you. We're at 55 thumbs up right now, guys. Let's get that up. Let's get that up to 80. That would be awesome if we could get it to 80. There's 132 people watching this. Let's get the thumbs up to 80. Ryan, that is absolutely true, and that's unfortunately the case. It's always supply and demand. Everyone wants a lot of cars until it's time to pay for them. Absolutely true. So, guys, between this car and this car, just two of my cars, I have almost $3,000 worth of car payments a month. So I know exactly what it means whenever you have to pay for these things. It's hard, which is why I also drive them. Both of these cars have miles on them because I'm not going to pay for a car that I don't drive. Now, with that said, they are both very fun cars to drive. This thing, me and my wife had this out yesterday along with the C5. This is an amazing car to drive. I took this to a car show the other day. That's an amazing car to drive. I mean, on a daily basis, and this is definitely first world problems, I know, but on a daily basis, I struggle to decide which one of these two cars I want to take because they're both so freaking awesome, which is why I know the C8 Z06 is going to be mind-boggling because the base C8 is already awesome. Yeah, let's do it. If we get 80 likes on this video, 80 thumbs ups, I'll cold start the C8 Corvette for you guys. The keys are actually in it, so I can do that. Yeah, that's true. So the XPEL and the ceramic coating on this car is somewhere around $7,000. The ZR1 is very rare. It's every day it gets rarer because people are crashing their versions and totaling them, which makes mine even more rare. So, guys, we're 6 likes away. 6 more thumbs ups. I cold start the C8. Ah, 4 more. 4 more. We can do it. I don't. Oh man, 2 more. You're gonna make me get the keys. Oh, there it is. We hit 80. All right, let's do it. Let's wake the neighbors. All right, here we go. We ready? Matt, what's up, man? So that is the AWE exhaust, which you can actually buy that from my website if you guys are interested. Go to my website and under the C8 Corvette stuff, AWE. It sounds friggin' amazing. All right, guys, thank you so much for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. So what we were gonna do, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, I think. I don't want to carry this on too much longer. Maybe we'll do this again tomorrow, though. I really enjoyed this with you guys today. If you guys have any questions about the C8 Z06, kind of let them stew a little bit. Let's do this again tomorrow. We'll talk more about what's coming, what to expect, and why you're going to want the Z06. So, yeah, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. One last time, please smash that thumbs up. Tomorrow we'll get a cold start maybe of the ZR1 and the C5. We'll do, you know what? We'll do a cold start of all 3 of them. So you guys tune in tomorrow. We'll talk more about it. I think we're going to do about 7 o'clock again tomorrow. Actually, yeah. I'll put it up, but I'm thinking 7 o'clock. Thanks so much, guys. One last time, smash that thumbs up. If we can get it to 100 before I end this live stream, I would be absolutely pumped. We got 18 more. Could you guys get me 18 more thumbs up before we end the live stream? Richard, that may just be coming. Once I sell this one, I might grab something in the meantime before the Z06 comes, and that C6 Z06 is looking very tempting. 15 more, guys. Thumbs up. Let's do it. Look at this. Look at the C8 Corvette lines in the hood. If you like those as much as I do, smash that thumbs up. Let Chevy know you love this. All right, guys. We're gonna end it here. We're 13 away. 13. Come on. Oh man, 11. 10. We're 10 away. Oh, dude, you guys are so good. You're amazing. I love all of you guys. You're great. 10 more. All right, guys. I can't wait too much longer. The Z06. It's going to be black. Angel. It's going to be black. The wrap is actually XPEL. It's XPEL Stealth. It gives it that satin finish. The color underneath is still torch red. We're 7 away, guys. 7 away. 7 more people hit that thumbs up. Price of the Z06, it's likely to start at 85 to 90K before options. Probably max out around 130. 5 more. Come on, guys. That's so awesome. I can't even voice it. I can't even tell you how awesome that is that you guys would do that. 2 more. Wow. You guys are awesome. I love it. Shark gray would be fantastic. I agree. I loved shark gray. That was without a doubt my favorite color gray. 2 more thumbs up, guys. Just 2 people smash thumbs up and we are good to go. My exhaust setup on my C8 Corvette is made by AWE. It is the AWE touring exhaust. I will be cold starting the ZR1 tomorrow for you guys. There it is, 100. All right, my neighbor did it. Say hi to Bill, guys.
It's a wrap.
All right, guys, it's a wrap. We're going to see you back here tomorrow at some point. Stay tuned for the thumbnail. I'll put it up a couple hours before I go live. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are great.